How's training going for you there, Ricky?
Training's going awesome. It's going very, very good.
Yeah, and this is a big fight coming up here on August 24th, Bellator 225. I'm curious as to how much you've checked out on your opponent and like what your assessment is. It seems like he has like a winning LFA record, but lost in his last fight for that promotion, getting ready to make his Bellator debut. What are your thoughts on your opponent?
He's tough. He's got a lot of experience from what I hear. He has over 200 combat kind of fights, and he just got a good stand-up. He's going to come ready to fight. Just like you said, his first Bellator fight. Definitely has something to prove. I'm on a 2-fight losing streak, so this makes this fight huge for me. Definitely got to get the win here in dominant fashion. So I'm expecting a nice, tough, hard-fought fight.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like you've been making some big strides lately with like moving over to ATT and training there and everything like that. Why did now feel like the right time to kind of move to another gym and try to get some different looks?
I lost 2 in a row, and it's something I was always struggling with, maybe contemplating on, looking elsewhere. But when you're winning, you never really pull the trigger. You're like, oh, it's all right, I'm winning. And then you lose 2 in a row, and it's like, well, I guess I need some change here. Something's not working, and that was pretty much the overall idea on why I jumped ship.
Yeah, because you were getting some good looks at the gym there with like Nick Catone and everything like that. Like it seemed like you were working with some high level guys there, but good to move to a gym like ATT and just switch it up. I mean, couldn't hurt to have some different impressions and all that.
Absolutely, man. Nick's was good. He was a good coach. A lot of great training partners. Great gym overall, but ATT is really nice too. Good. Everybody's nice and everybody's very helpful, but the variety of mixing it up, there's good 2 dozen people my weight or around my weight that you can mix up, all top level guys. So, hopefully, this is going to help me just elevate my game.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so, man. I think you're in a good place, and this is going to be a good platform to kind of show what you have. And, not looking too far beyond this fight, obviously, but I thought it was interesting that you were talking about having some level of interest in being part of the featherweight Grand Prix and, being a career 135er at this point. Is that just kind of an intrigue in the Grand Prix in general? Is there some general idea of wanting to transition to featherweight as you get older as a pro? Like, what is your future at 145 and conversely also 135?
Like I say, I love fighting, so when they offer me a fight 35, 45, I'm always taking the fight. At 45, they had the tournament, and if it was offered, I would absolutely do it. I'm a pretty big 35er, so I think going to 45 wouldn't be too of a big of adjustment. And down the road, yeah, absolutely. Once I can figure out how to, take over this 35-pound division, get that belt, I'm down to jump to 45 and try the same thing there, But right now, I'm trying to get, some wins back at the bantamweight division.
Yeah, for sure. And some of the guys you've been in there with, Juan Archuleta, a guy who's sitting pretty in the 145 division right now. So it's good. You've got options in multiple divisions. Not a bad thing, right?
Absolutely. I'm excited to see how he plays out, Being that our fight, was, remotely close. So I'm excited to see if he goes in this tournament, just steamrolls everybody, or if he has a hard time, gets dominated. I'm kind of seeing where that, eyeing up where that level's me.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm kind of wondering, if you have any idea of what you want your schedule to be for the remainder of the calendar year. Is there, an ideal amount of fights you would like to get before the year's out?
Yeah, 10. But realistically, probably, I hope I could get 1,
I guess that's why you were indicating some interest in the Grand Prix structure, because it pretty much guarantees you X amount of fights within a calendar year.
Yeah, I love that, I took this fight, I just fought in June, now I'm fighting not even 2 months later, and I took the fight not too long ago, so it just shows I like to be active, so the tournament's right up my alley.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that, actually. So, in your estimation, there's some benefits to having that quick turnaround since the mid-June loss to, Patrick Mix, because it didn't seem like you took, a great deal of damage in that fight, necessarily. It was kind of like a quick sort of affair, so kind of makes sense you would get the turnaround, but you think it's, a beneficial thing? You still kind of feel, fresh and, you have that traction from the prior camp and all that?
Yeah, I just hit the ground running. I might have took a couple, week off or so just to soaking my sorrows, but got back on the horse and got this fight. The Pat Mix fight, like you said, no damage. It happened so fast. It's the name of the game. So instead of sulking about it, I might as well get back in there and get a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of wondering, like, even though it didn't necessarily, work out in your favor, was there any level of significance competing at a venue like Madison Square Garden, or do you not really look at some of the outside kind of factors with fights and just focus on the task at hand?
Um, well, yeah, fighting MSG didn't, it didn't play a factor on why I lost, but it was pretty cool to fight there and soak up all the energy and the fight week and staying in the hotel in the city and then going to MSG and doing the walk out there and seeing all the pictures. Like, all that was awesome, and that's once in a lifetime experience. That's like a bucket list kind of thing. But all that, all the big stage and stuff like that, that didn't factor into why I lost. It's just, it was nice to, enjoy it and put it on my list.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't trying to paint that picture necessarily. I guess I was just wondering if you appreciated the historical significance of the venue, even in spite of that.
Yes, man. Some of the greatest athletes, basketball, fighting, any kind of sport, step foot in that arena. So for me to be able to do that walkout, that's awesome. Something you can't get back.
Yeah, for sure. Something that's probably something you take a great deal of pride in, but also seems like you're a proud dad and everything like that. Like I saw your daughter there was a cheerleader and kind of is doing pretty well. Seems like she's placing pretty high and everything like that. So how much does your family influence what it is that you're doing and just inspire you overall?
My family, they're the main reason I do this. Being able to fight, I don't have to go to work 40 hours a week. I get to hang out with my wife and kids all day. And that's just my biggest motivation. The better I do, the more they get to, succeed. And then, when it comes to motivation and factors, they're everything for why I do this.
And it seems like you have a good support system out in Brick, New Jersey there and everything. And it seems like, you're always like, supporting them and everything like that. And conversely, they seem to support you. Like usually have your fights going on at the Buffalo Wild Wings and all that. So what does it mean to you to have, such fanfare coming from your hometown?
It's cool, man. Brick is a small town, and it's a big town, but everybody knows each other within it, and everybody supports each other. Anybody who seems to be doing anything great business-wise or professional athletes or chasing any kind of dream, everybody seems to get on board and just push and support each other. So that's awesome to see and have.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think it's cool to see from, my perspectives as well. But it seems like Bellator and Rizin nowadays have a lot of crossover and seem to have a good relationship with one another. Is there any interest on your end to, compete in Japan eventually and maybe fight within the Rizin rule set at some point in the future?
Absolutely, man. Fight. Send it. I'll go to Japan and fight. That'd be cool. That's another bucket list thing. Fighting's huge over there, and just different rule sets and just have an experience, man, and that's why I'm here. The experience and fight and make money. So I'll go to Japan, no problem.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see, how you do in that kind of rule set, with like the, soccer kicks and face stomps and everything like that. It seems like you've got that, dexterity in the kicks and all that. So it'd be interesting to see you in that sort of rule set.
Yeah, I do too, but it's a little fucked up and inhumane if you ask me. That you can soccer kick people and step on them, but it's the name of the game. Sign me up.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right? You're more into the sweet chin music kind of kicks, like more so the standing ones, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you've been great with your time, man. I'm curious, though, if there's anything you want to add as a parting thought as we're wrapping things up here.
Nothing, man. I just like to shout out two of my big sponsors, Apex Sport, which is a huge reason of my preparation on why I get my weight down and do so well. And Eat Clean, bro, same thing, a meal prep company from Jersey. They're just taking over the East Coast, and they're a huge reason why I make weight. And both of them are just great support systems. So other than that, thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great talking to you. Appreciate having you on, and people will appreciate this fight, I'm sure. Bellator 225, August 24th. It is a bantamweight fight, and Ricky Bandejas will be taking on Ahmet Kayretli. And just, again, appreciate the time, and best of luck with the preparations, man. You enjoy the rest of your day, too.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good weekend.